What's up, pups? Rumor Marvel Studios wants to follow X-Men 97 with Spider-Man the Animated Series revival. This is absolutely garbage. I've watched the first episode of X-Men 97, and I've got to say, pretty much a piece of garbage. Everybody praising it for its animation. It's not cutting edge. I've said it before on past tweets. The animation is third rate. Rick and Morty slash Archer. It's like they decided that it should be 60 frames per second, and then whether due to just not wanting to produce more keyframes or just reaching up to 30, just said, it's good enough. We'll just continue on and moving it on, making it look like a janky mess. By all means, that's not to say that the old X-Men animated series had its own problems with animation, but the main difference between that one and the current 97 one is that that one actually had soul and passion that you can clearly see in the animation, while X-Men 97 just has bland, flat bullshit. From Bounding into Comics, this article continues by saying, considering Spider-Man the Animated Series sequel, according to a new whisper, Marvel Studios is looking to give the X-Men 97 to their entire 90s animated universe, starting with a similarly styled relaunch of the fan favorite Spider-Man the Animated Series. And I'll just point out right away that even the Spider-Man the Animated Series reused a lot of frames just to save time and cost, I'm sure, and animation. As you can see here, clearly they have like this weird filter glare going on something. It reminds me of the Dragon Ball Z remastered filter that they slapped on there. This supposed insight into Marvel's awkwardly animated future, those who have watched X-Men 97 will know what I mean. Oh, I know. I've only watched the first episode. Despite how much it annoyed me, I might continue watching it just to see where this goes. I'm not holding my breath because I truly believe that X-Men 97 is just going to be a simple bait and switch. They'll try to lure you by saying, oh no, we'll honor the old animated series, but then, you know, at the end, they'll just switch everything around. They're planning to bastardize the series. We all know it's going to come at one point or another. Was first provided to the public on March 24th, courtesy of Scooper and the Cosmic Circus reporter Alex Perez. Fielding questions regarding his insider Marvel knowledge from members of the Cosmic Circus public Discord server, Perez was at one point pressed by user Titan29 as to whether or not the Incredible Hulk slash Iron Man slash the Fantastic Four are going to share a continuity with X-Men slash Spider-Man again in X-Men 97. The Scooper asserted there have been discussions about exploring a Marvel's 90 animated universe, which would most likely be explored through X-Men 97 at this time. However, despite X-Men 97 being the only confirmed animated project on Marvel's slate, Perez further noted that there is potential for more projects to be developed within the universe, the most likely candidate being a sequel series to Spider-Man the Animated Series, but this is still very early in development as an idea being tossed around. There are discussions about other revival series beyond Daredevil Born Again and X-Men 97 in development, he would later tell another user, some set in the same universe as those projects. As touched upon by Titan29 above, aside from Spider-Man the Animated Series, there are a number of candidates Marvel could choose from for their next 90s revival. Not only are there the aforementioned trio of the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, the Fantastic Four, but there's also Silver Surfer the Animated Series, and, if a Spider fan could dream for just a moment, the web crawler sci-fi heavy sequel series, Spider-Man Unlimited. Notably, one factor that makes a Spider-Man revival more likely than any of the others, aside from the series' massive popularity, is that its lead voice actor, Christopher Daniel Barnes, is still actively working as a voice actor to this day, having most recently provided the voice for The Little Mermaid's Prince Eric, who he has voiced since his debut in the 1994 animated film, in Disney's Dreamlight Valley and Disney's Speedstorm video games. Plus, not only is he still working, but he is also still actively providing animated spider-related voices, bringing to life such characters as Electro, Spider Knight, and Wolf Spider in Disney's Ultimate Spider-Man. And of course, a big question that looms over any possible revisiting of the Spider-Man the Animated Series continuity, will the Scarlet Spider finally get more screen time to shine? On a slightly related note, Perez also confirmed that while the main MCU timeline is not connected to X-Men 97, it does exist within the MCU as part of a larger multiverse. To this end, he explained that as for the introduction of X-Men and Mutant Kind, it's already been introduced in the main MCU continuity with characters like Miss Marvel and Namor, and they will continue to build it up as such. At current, the next episode of Marvel's new X-Men 97 animated series, Fire Made Flesh, is currently set to hit Disney Plus on March 27th, which I'm recording this video on that day. So it's not just X-Men 97 that they're going to bastardize. It very well could be Spider-Man the Animated Series will get the same treatment. The X-Men 97's trailer has showed that a lot of people were not happy with the direction of the new X-Men 97 series, Morph being non-binary, which is something that was not in the 90s animated series, and as well as other little snippets of wokeism in there, such as Magneto and MAGA or something like that. I haven't gotten to that episode yet because after watching the first one, I immediately went and watched an episode of the old X-Men the Animated Series because that one is good. This one is not. For me, with the whole X-Men 97, regardless of knowing that at some point it's just going to start dumping in more and more bullshit inside of it, is the fact that people are praising the animation, which to me looks like garbage. Now, again, I said it before earlier in this video, I understand that the 90s animation is obviously not 100% perfect. I get that. I can pretty much see into the future that this is just your classic bait and switch. They're luring you in by saying, look, we're going to honor the original series. We're going to give it respect. We're going to do it right. It's going to be like we never miss a beat, but that is 100% a lie. And yes, I have heard about the original creators giving feedback about all the backlash and whatnot and whining and complaining. Oh, didn't you guys learn anything? Haven't we taught you? You blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. You're just catering to a bunch of woke people. There's absolutely no way you've had this planned years upon years to finally be able to show the true side of the original X-Men animated series. You're catering to a bunch of woke people who hate the series, hate the 90s, because that is when people enjoyed things like X-Men the Animated Series, or Spider-Man the Animated Series, or video games, or movies. The 90s and early 2000s were a time where anything could be possible. If it didn't work, it didn't work, but hey, you gave it a go. There was none of this catering woke bullshit, and if there was something where the storyline is a focus on that, at least we knew that that was what we were going to get into if we were going to go ahead and view this sort of thing. Nowadays, again, these people are just taking an established franchise series, saying there's a bunch of stuff wrong with this, so we're going to come in here, we're going to bastardize everything, we're going to retcon everything, we're going to make it up to par with today's DIE standards, dismantle, eradicate, infest, and at the end of the day, pat ourselves on the back because we did this all for the greater good. I'd like to take special note on this quote right here. Exist within the MCU as part of the larger multiverse. These people absolutely love any sort of franchise that has a multiverse or time traveling because it's an excuse that they can then fall behind to retcon everything to their progressive standards and then go out and declare that this one's the true timeline, this one's the best timeline, and to just ignore all the other timelines because this one's the one that people need to see, that this one's the one that people need to praise and shout for. And everybody knows that that's a bunch of bullshit. None of this would be here if it weren't for the 90s, if it wasn't for the 2000s. And I'm just talking about like the animated series and stuff like that. I'm by no means a deep, hardcore expert or fan inside of this, but I know bullshit when I can see it. Let me know what you guys think by leaving a comment down below. Do you guys think that they'll truly honor Spider-Man the Animated Series just like what they're doing with X-Men 97? I don't think so. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, punch that thumbs up, and turn on notifications to get notified when I go live, whether it's doing content like this, the Power Up podcast, whether that's having a guest on or just a solo show. And make sure to check out my game streaming as well. Other social media is listed in the description below. And if you want to go beyond just helping boosting the algorithm, maybe check out the membership tiers on YouTube or the subscription tiers on Twitch and Rumble, as well as my locals. Take care, God bless, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.